I can feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it, but I love it. Oh, I can feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it. And I know she'll be the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But she'll always get the best of me, at least her love be known. We're beautiful and stay forever young. This I know, yeah, this I know. She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. Hello, and today we are doing Premier League predictions for matchday number 23 of the 2021-22 season. That was your song of the weekend. Of course, it is Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd. And what is the phrase of the weekend? Well, the theme of the weekend this time around is, I don't know if you know it, but it is a film. And that film, my friends, is called The Interview. Yes, The Interview. It stars, I don't even know who it stars, but it says, from the capitalists who brought you Neighbours and This Is the End. I don't even know. But yeah, I just felt like a interview vibe for some reason. Don't know why. I feel like there's a lot of transfers going ahead, and obviously there's key interviews for that, and getting those deals done. Serious business. And serious business is this round of Premier League fixtures, because we have got some tantalising games. Before we do get on to my predictions though, I've got to tell you, I've had a eureka moment. That's right, I know I said last week with the predictions video, the predictions league was a bit of a mess. But I got my act together, and I actually have sorted the mess out. Because what I realised is, I'm completely messed up. So I have to make a massive apology to Lock Football, who has commented on some of the videos in the past in these predictions leagues. I honestly have to say, fair enough, I've messed it up because my maths is not very good. I just lost concentration, got some of the maths wrong, and I've been disgracing you ever since because you've been doing decent predictions and I've been way off what it's actually showing from your predictions, because the amount of games, the quick turnarounds, the amount of postponements has meant I've lost track a little bit. But I retraced my steps, recalculated, and this is the official table now. Everything's updated and everything's correct as it should be. So without further ado, before we do get into the song and the theme and confirming the phrase of the weekend, I can tell you that going into match week 23, after week 22's games, I also counted the predictions from the bumper video that we did over Christmas, week 20, week 21 and week 19. And I saw that the Dugout Football channel, of course, he's been leading this season. He didn't put his predictions in, so I had to look at his channel. But if you do want to pop them down, Douglas, that would be much appreciated so that I could calculate it. But this is how it stands. In reverse order, we had a new entry last week in the game week 22 predictions. So thank you, Ballum. You scored yourself 7 points, and that puts yourself last at the minute, but only because you've had less weeks of predicting. So in 9th place is Ballum after that first week. In 8th place, it's still with 11 points, Chris Welch. In 7th, it's Pav Kapoor on 12 points. In 6th, Footy Tom on 15 points. And in 5th, someone who did comment over the Christmas period, SportCat1 with 15 points at some point in the season, I'm not sure. I think they were on 21, but now you're up to 25. So well done, SportCat1. You're in 5th place, but I can in fact reveal that Lock Football, who I did completely get wrong. I think I said that it was 21 from Lock, and I forgot that he actually got more than that. So basically, after game week 11, Lock was on 39 points. And I think I did say in one of the videos that they got to like 43 or something, which of course was wrong. But after week 12, Lock got to 45. They didn't comment in the a couple of weeks after that. So then after week 15, it remained at 45. But after week 16, Lock went up to 53. Again, didn't comment in week 17. went up to 55 after week 18, up to 59 after week 19, and then up to 67 because they commented in the week 20 predictions. I'm not sure if they did week 21, but anyway, 67 points is what we got for Potluck. So fantastic stuff there. That has put you in 4th position with 67 overall. In 3rd, DK Jones with 79 points. Again, good predictions put over the festive period. And in 2nd, it is, drum roll please, the Dugout Football Channel. I don't believe it. Finally, his reign is shortly over because, that's right, it is Douglas that is 2nd. Oh, mate, I did not expect that, but fair enough. That is the way it goes. And 207 overall points for the Dugout Football Channel. Still bossing it as always. But a very good festive period for me because I am now top with 210 points. I had a pretty good game week 22 as well, so we'll just quickly talk through that. Obviously, Arsenal Spurs was postponed. What can you do about that? We did get a correct result in the Brentford defeat to Manchester United. Also, we correctly predicted Liverpool to beat Brentford. A correct scoreline prediction in the Leicester-Tottenham game. Delicious. Last minute, 96th Bergwijn. You absolute beauty. I called the 3-2 when most people would have said 2-1 Leicester. Especially in the 90th, 5th minute or whatever it was. It was madness. What an end to the game. What a prediction from me. Lovely stuff. Brighton 1, Palace 1 I also did predict. Lovely. Neil Morpie. Nice little cross and a own goal for Anderson, helping me out there with the prediction. We did get Brighton-Chelsea wrong, as I'm sure many did. Brighton, very good point. And that's 2 draws in a row, 2 1-all draws in the last couple of weeks. But Chelsea, defensively, need to sort out themselves. And they're not scoring enough goals. You know, Lukaku's just been a bit of a waste of space. And they just seem to be out of the title race completely now. Burnley-Leicester, postponed. Again, Burnley's matches always postponed, it seems, because they have got a lot of, apparently, COVID cases, but also there's AFCON and injuries, but I'm sure they could get a side out. I don't know why. I think teams are abusing the rules now. The Premier League have said that they will put in stricter rules of how you can get a game postponed. Burnley-Watford as well, of course, was postponed. So that meant Watford actually, in hindsight, might have had a better deal of it, because to play Newcastle on Saturday and throw 3 new debutants in was always going to be interesting. They all played really well. That was, of course, Edo Kayembe, Hassan Kamara, and Samir. They all looked pretty comfortable. And Samir was one of those players against Newcastle who, he went unnoticed. And that's a good thing, because a lot of our centre-backs this season has been drawing unnecessary attraction because we've just been making mistakes. But to be fair to him, Will Troost-Ekong has been fantastic for Nigeria. Scored a goal in the game the other day. Man of the match performance, and Nigeria through to the outside the group stage. So fantastic for them, fantastic for him. But also good to see Watford are making their moves in the transfer market. And we've also signed now Samuel Samuel Kalu. Is it Kalu? Or Kalu. I think it's Kalu, sorry. Nigerian winger. Looks like he could be a very good piece of backup, especially if we saw, Dennis leave in the summer, or we saw an extension to the Ismail Assar injury. He is primarily on the left-hand side, but he's right-footed, so he can cut inside. But they're very good, apparently. Good player. And very cheap as well. I think only 500k or something. But obviously, he's another risk we've taken, a bit like Emmanuel Dennis. He has had a few, just a bit disciplinary issues. But look, we can, as I've said with Dennis, we can get the best out of these kind of players. And Ranieri can, get a hand round him, really make him into the player that hopefully we want him to be. But yeah, generally some good business from Watford, and I'm very happy that we're addressing what we need to. But yeah, only the one game this last game week, because that's quite nice. We can give those rests to the players who have only just come in and get ready for an absolute massive game. Biggest game of the season, no doubt. It is a 6-pointer, and it is a 6-pointer underlined 6 times. Have to win this football match. A draw is not enough. A loss is certainly going to be a spanner in the works. And ultimately, despite a very good performance in that second half against Newcastle, a very encouraging thing to see us not lose and battle and take away, some points from the position of defeat, which we haven't done a lot this season. A loss against Norwich would throw it all away. It would make it all irrelevant. We have to win on Friday night under the lights. It's going to be an exciting start to the weekend on Sky Sports. I'll be at the game, of course. Come on, you horns. We can really get the rookery rocking when we're up for it. But we also had a correct goal difference prediction of City against Chelsea. I said 2-1. I also said Kevin De Bruyne to score. And he did, of course. Newcastle-Watford, I did go with a Watford win, but in the circumstances, it felt like a draw was a defeat because, to take away that victory from Newcastle was so, so important. What a header from Joao Pedro. What a cross from Kiko Femenia. Just absolutely love the reaction from Ranieri. Fist pumps, and Cavaselli behind him is absolutely buzzing. Also, a incorrect prediction for Norwich-Everton. Who would have thought it, right? Everton, absolute mess. Norwich, not exactly the most ideal result for Watford to see that Norwich win. But it is what it is, right? Everton just make mistakes for some reason. And look, the first Premier League goal for Adam Idah. Let's hope he's not feeling confident on Friday night. But still, West Ham Leeds, also a game we could have had West Ham do us a favour. But no, Leeds United get the victory to pull away from us a little bit, which is a bit frustrating. But it is what it is. We can only control our own destiny. Harrison hat-trick, unbelievable stuff. West Ham, defensively though, so same old thing, isn't it? Set pieces and really a big shock there. But certainly a last-minute chance from Bowen that should have been in the back of the net. Just unfortunate with the deflection off Stuart Dallas. And really, it was just he couldn't adjust, so he had to come off the chest, really. And Wolves Southampton, another correct score. Let's go. So that's a fantastic week. 3 correct scorelines, because we did say 3-1 to the team in gold. Bruno Lage's men have been doing pretty well, and you got to say Jose Sarr has been a great shot stopper. So, how does that mean in the predictions league? Well, after that week of 20 points across those 13 matches, I'm sitting on 210 overall points. So 3-point gap to Douglas. It is getting tasty. But the main thing is we're absolutely loving it that we're top of the table. So, now that I've told you the predictions league, all nice and updated, what is the phrase of the weekend? Well, as I mentioned, the theme of the week is the interview, the film, and therefore, the phrase of the weekend is, you've got the job. No, it'll probably be something like, well done, son, or, you've actually nailed it there. Something like that, because it's all about these key moments, these key decisions, and putting on a good display. And that's exactly what Watford need to do against the Canaries on Friday. The theme of the weekend was what we've said. It's, standard really. The interview and the song of the weekend. It's a weekend. Now, moving on to MATCHWEEK 23. These are some massive, massive games. Watford v Norwich, of course, is up first. Now, this game at Vicarage Road will be an interesting one. Norwich come into this off the back of a very good win against Everton. As I mentioned, those goals from Adam Idah and a very unfortunate, unlikely, but it happened, own goal from Michael Keane. Nice little cross from Josh Sargent there, but really, Everton creating their own problems, going 2-0 down the first half an hour, and they gave themselves a big mountain to climb. And look, a nice goal from Richarlison, but one thing's for sure is that Norwich will not go down without a fight, right? They did look like they were going to be dead and buried, but the last couple of weeks they have gained a bit of resurgence, and now they're actually not far away from Watford. They're sitting in 18th. They've gone above Newcastle and Burnley, so look, we know this is a massive game. We have to be favourites at home. We beat them in the reverse fixture 3-1. Back when we had Sarr back fit, obviously 2 goals on that day, and a nice bullet header from Manuel Dennis. But we've got to keep Teemu Pukki quiet. We've got to think we have to get a clean sheet at some point, right? Because if there's not going to be a clean sheet at home against Norwich City, then when is there going to be? So, I don't know. I feel like there's just inevitable sinking feeling we can concede on Friday. But the most important thing is those 3 points to get a bit of momentum after that Newcastle game. keep the run of games not losing going and definitely get the victory. But it'll be an interesting one for sure. I am predicting a Watford win, though. I've got to be especially hopeful after that improved Newcastle performance and confident in a team like Norwich, who, look, defensively, they are still very, very suspect. So Norwich City to lose this one. Watford 2, Norwich 1. I know it's a nervy game, right? And I would most weeks say a bit more of a comprehensive win against someone like Norwich. But based on the fact we are quite nervy, we are Watford, and we can't seem to keep clean sheets, I'll say 2-1, just because it's the most likely scores in most weeks. Watford score first, though, and I think it will be a nice little strike from Joshua King on the right-hand side, bending into top left corner, and then we will see a goal from Norwich, and this time it will be a strike from the midfielder. That is, of course, Kenny McLean, but then the winner for Watford, a crucial 3 points, a 3 points that does what it said on the tin. It's a 3 points to get away from Norwich in the relegation zone. It is, of course, the legend. That is Moussa Sissoko. Now, I know what you're going to say. Sissoko's never scoring, but he's going to make up for that awful miss against Newcastle. And I know what you'll mostly say is, oh, any time it comes to Sissoko, do not back him. Do not back yourself, Moussa, because you can't shoot. You can't score. But he's going to make up for it, right? I might, most occasions, pass it to someone else and then you back themselves to score, Moussa. But on this occasion, you're going to get a chance. You're going to be like doing your celebration like as if to say, all right, fair enough, I messed up at Tyneside, but I'm going to do it right this time at the Vic. And he did put out a message, which was very nice to see, but encouraging, obviously, a lot of Watford fans to go to the game tomorrow because, of course, it is on TV. And, of course, in the climate of COVID, which actually, recently, there's been talk of restrictions lifting, which I find mind-boggling. But anyway, they have said that, yeah, come to the game, make that atmosphere as it is because it's such a crucial match and the atmosphere could make all the difference. Don't watch it on Sky Sports. If you're not a Watford fan, feel free to, but it's got to be time to come together and cheer on the Golden Boys for a massive relegation rumble. Goal scorers in terms of the timings, I think King will score on the 28th minute, then the equaliser will come for Norwich in the second half from that goal from Kenny McLean on 55 minutes, and we'll be thinking, how have we conceded to Norwich? But it's all fine, as long as we get the win, who cares? And the goal from yours truly, Sissoko, is coming on 85 minutes. The captain leading by example. Now it is a match between the likes of Everton and Aston Villa. And this is an interesting one. Of course, Rafa Benitez is out. So, Duncan Ferguson, he did have a little period when the sacking came of, was it? I'm trying to think now. Yeah, it was just before Carlo Ancelotti came in. They did have Duncan just for a couple of games, and they actually won those games in the kind of gap between them having was it Sam Allardyce? I don't even know at this point. But ultimately, yeah, that is decent. He has a good relationship with Calvert-Lewin, Ferguson, because he's a similar kind of player, quite tall, good at headering and all that, good at getting goals. But I honestly think if Everton can't improve their performances soon, then they could really be dragged into the thick of the relegation battle. Villa, on the other hand, they're looking really up. They're looking like a great team. What a comeback against Manchester United. And Philippe Coutinho, the magic man, is back in the Premier League and in style. I wonder how many minutes he will play, especially with the competition in that Villa team, with people like Jacob Ramsey and Emi Buendia wanting minutes. But ultimately, Gerrard's got them playing some great football. And of course, Lucas Digne is going back to his old club at Goodison. Will he get a good reception? I think he should, because it's not his fault. It was just a fallout, and he wasn't treated rightly by Rafa Benitez. But I think he's not going to score on his return. However, I do think there is a chance that Everton do not score in this game, and it's a very cagey Aston Villa victory, but they know how to get the job done. It will be, in my opinion, a game that ends Everton 0, Aston Villa 2. And goal scorers, as I said, Coutinho, he's just the man of the moment. He will get the first one. But the second one for Aston Villa, I'm saying it will be a little bit of Jacob Ramsey. And now we move to the next game between the likes of Brentford and Wolves. Now this was of course the first away win of the season for Wolves back in the game early on in the season with goals from Brian and Wermo and Ivan Toney a penalty. Now of course Toney did get on the score sheet in midweek against Manchester United, defeated 3-1 at the hands of Rangnick's men, but they will be encouraged, Brentford, because they had chances. De Gea made so many great saves. And look, Brentford have been a great side this season. At home, they've played well. Wolves, on the other hand, they've been hard to break down and they've been keeping clean sheets for fun. But I think Brentford are a good team. So I think it'll be a very interesting one. But it's going to be finishing a score draw. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. And goal scorers here, the first goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers, I'm going to say, comes from Daniel Podence. But then the equaliser for Brentford is going to be Brian and Wermo. Right, let's move on to the match between Leeds and Newcastle. Now here, we've got a game of massive importance. Just like that Norwich game, we have two sides who, look, Leeds did get that big win against West Ham, but you never know. They could still get dragged down because of the fact they're leaking a lot of goals still. And Newcastle can't seem to hold on to Leeds and get wins. Still, only that Burnley game, they've got victories. They really need to be better for 90 minutes. And look, Leeds are at home, so they'll fancy the crowd at Ellen Road, roaring them on. I've just got a feeling Newcastle will start to let it slip. Leeds 2, Newcastle United 0. And a rare clean sheet for the home side. But goals here for Leeds from Rafinha, and then a second goal for Leeds from Rodrigo, the forward. I mean, he doesn't actually play that often these days, but if it doesn't come a goal through him, then I reckon instead Dan James. Now, we move on to the game between Manchester United and West Ham United. This should be an entertaining one. It's a shame it's a 3 o'clocker, really, because this would have been a good game on TV. But it is two teams that have had decent seasons. Now, West Ham have been pretty consistent throughout, and last week was a bit of a blip. Manchester United had a great start against Leeds, then were looking pretty shaky, sacked Solskjaer, brought in Rangnick, who kind of steadied the ship, but not really improved Manchester United, and they've just been quite sloppy. But a good win against Brentford, so that's a nice change for them. I do feel that this will be a game West Ham have a good chance in, though, because still defensively, United are suspect. Varane has been good, but everyone else needs to sort themselves out. So I think West Ham can definitely have a go in this game. Whether they get the victory, I'm not sure, but I will say a scoring draw. West Ham to get a point. United 2, West Ham 2. And United to score first through Cristiano Ronaldo. He's back fit, of course. West Ham equaliser. It comes through Jared Bowen. Then West Ham go ahead through Michail Antonio, and he whips out another special celebration. But then the second goal for Manchester United, he did score in the game at the Villa Park. It's Bruno Fernandes with an absolute wonder goal. Now, let's move on to the game that is between the teams of Southampton and Man City. Now, I've got a big feeling this will be a big City win because Southampton, yeah, okay, they looked all right in the last couple of games, but, City can tear teams apart. We saw it happen in the Southampton-Leicester game. I'm not saying it's going to be 9-0, but I think could be close. Southampton 0, Man City 5. And goal scorers, Kevin De Bruyne first of all, then a goal from Joao Cancelo. The third goal for Manchester City is going to be Phil Foden. Then a fourth goal for Man City from, again, Phil Foden. And the final goal for Manchester City is going to be, Aymeric Laporte. And that is a 5-0 drubbing. I might have said 6. I think I said 5. I think that was 5. Let's just go with the flow. Now, moving on to the game that is on Sunday, or at least it should be. It is Arsenal against Burnley. Now, this is a game that might not go ahead because Burnley have had COVID cases. 2 games postponed in the space of a week. Arsenal game got postponed. That was a bit of a joke. But with the new regulations and rules, you might see Arsenal's game go ahead. I don't know. At this rate, I think it could. But I'm still going to say, nonetheless, Arsenal can get the victory. But I don't think it'll be a fine result from them because Burnley will keep it tight. They are desperate for every point they can muster. Arsenal 1, Burnley 1. I think would be a shock, but I'm saying 1-0 instead to the Gunners. I do feel that there's going to be a sending off for Aaron Ramsdale. I've just got this feeling. And Leno will be in goal. He makes a couple of good saves. and Arsenal eventually do. I say Leno in goal. Of course, that will mean they sub out one of their midfielders and sacrifice because they can't have 11 players on. But ultimately, the winning goal for Arsenal does come from a bit of Martin Odegaard. No, hang on, he's got COVID. Oh dear. No, instead we're going to go for Kieran Tierney. Right, now, it's Palace v Liverpool. This is a game in the past that we know Liverpool have slipped up in, right? So, Palace, they are one of those teams that can just surprise people. They've beaten City this season. And I remember there was that 3-3. I think Liverpool 3-0 up. And Dwight Gale, the mastermind, came to the rescue. But I think Palace have playing some great football. Conor Gallagher, another goal on Friday night. And I think he won't be involved. But instead, it'll be Christian Benteke against his former team. Palace 1, Liverpool 1. A bit of a blow to Liverpool's hopes of staying with Man City for sure. Diogo Jota will score the first for the Reds. But then the equaliser for Palace is going to be Benteke. Now, I've got a game between Leicester and Brighton. Now, what I have realised is that I had a set of predictions that I was going to go by, and I've completely ripped up the rulebook. So that was very rebellious of me. Ignore what I've just said. And by the way, Liverpool have taken the lead against Arsenal in the game in the Cup, so that's interesting. Jota, assisted by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Might just have both of them in my fantasy team, so hey. No, let's be real here. Fernandes is on fire. What a player. But what we're actually predicting for these round of games is as follows, right? We're not going to beat around the bush any longer. We're still saying a Watford win, but we're not going to say 2-0. We are going to say 2-0. Watford 2, Norwich City 0. A 32nd minute goal from Joshua King and a 73rd minute goal from the Norwegian. Everton 3, Aston Villa 1. I changed my mind. Arsenal 2, Burnley 0. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Leeds 3, Newcastle 1. Man United 2, West Ham 1. Southampton 1, Man City 3. Palace 2, Liverpool 1. Why not? Let's make it interesting. Leicester 2, Brighton 0. Chelsea 1, Spurs 2. And those are my predictions for match day number 23 of the Premier League. I know that I've changed my strategy there, but it's fully worth it because some of the predicting scorers that I went for beforehand will still score. For Leeds, definitely their one of their goals against Newcastle will be from Rafinha. We'll also see a cheeky little goal from Luka Dean. It's got to be done, hasn't it, really, for Aston Villa against Everton, but still not enough. And then also a nice little assist from Coutinho there. But ultimately, Everton will win, despite what I've said just now about Aston Villa. So yeah, get that in your head, in your noggin. It's a mind boggler, but that's what we do on these predictions. We like to test our brains. Thanks for watching. My final predictions then have been locked in for week number 23. I shall see you in the next one and get down yours in the comment section below. 3 for the goal difference, 5 for the correct score, and 1 for the correct result. Allons-y!